Welcome to Xamarin Forms series Beginner to Pro. I'm Shahryar, your trainer during this series. With a C# code-based developers can use Xamarin's tool to write native Android, iOS and Windows Phone apps with native user interfaces and shared code across multiple platforms. Over 1 million developers use Xamarin products in more than 120 countries. Xamarin makes it possible to do native Android, iOS and Windows development in C# language. We are at the Visual Studio or Xamarin Studio. In this course, we will see later how to write ads to target all the three platforms Android, iOS and Windows machine right inside Visual Studio and as well as Xamarin Studio on Mac operating system. Developers can easily reuse their existing C# code base and can share significant code across devices, platform. Xamarin products was used to make apps for several valued companies including Microsoft, Honeywell, 3M, AT&T, HP, Targets, Animal, lots of more companies. Xamarin integrates with Visual Studio, Microsoft IDE and can expand the Visual Studio for Android and iOS development. While using Xamarin, you need not to learn Java. For Android, you not need to run Objective-C or Swift programming languages for iOS development. All you need is just a good hands-on skill set on C# and you can create your apps, your Android apps or iPhone apps or even Windows Phone apps using the same single shared code base. Xamarin also released a company store that to integrate backend system third-party libraries, cloud services and some reusable UI controls directly into mobile apps. So you can search a control which you need, let's say some fancy list box, some fancy or some enhanced capabilities based button or any other controls on the component store. And if you think that this suits your requirement, you can download it and integrate with your application. Those are completely reusable. We will see that. We are going to cover it later. This course is divided perfectly into 10 modules. In very first module we will see that very basic introduction Xamarin. Later we will see that overview of Xamarin Forms and we will go a little bit more deeper examples in architecture. Later we will go whole different sample forms architecture. Later we will see how to derive the shared UI using extensible application markup languages also known as XAML. We will also see what are the different layouts options available in Xamarin Forms, which are really helpful to create UI of all the three platforms. Yes, you need not to master UI individually for each platform. All you need to know is XAML styling and you can customize your UI so that it can suit the requirement of various screen sizes of various platforms. Later we will also see the list view, which is very common and very popular and significant control in Xamarin Forms. We'll see the use of pages in Xamarin Forms and we will see how we can target platform specific feature for any specific phone. Let's say our phone is having a fingerprint sensor. Not all phones are having fingerprint sensor. So how we can write app in such a way that if it is deployed on a phone which is having fingerprint sensor, it should leverage the capability of that specific phone. Later in the last module we will also see a sample application so that you guys can have enough confidence to write Android, iOS or Windows Phone based application, so that you can also have a production ready code and you can also know how easy or how interesting it would be to develop apps using Xamarin tools. So all the best, stay tuned.